Continuing to talk about DPDP Act for various industries, I'm talking about HR, employment, workplace now. Now, this is not an industry otherwise, this is a part of every industry. But actually, from privacy point of view, I personally feel this is the biggest industry because HR is the one who has all kinds of personal information available with them. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. We are going to talk about HR today in this particular section. So, what does HR handle? HR handle all sorts of personal records of employees, which is the biggest asset for any organization. Their basic identity, their contact details, their Aadhaar, PAN, passport, anything that is required for verification. Their educational qualifications, their marks that they got, their banking information, their payroll, their provident fund, their taxes, their medical records, health insurance data, performance ratings, appraisal data within the current employment as well as whatever has been in the previous employments, their attendance, their access logs, their biometrics, most sensitive personal information, and another very important personal information, which is the background check report. What do their neighbors talk about them? What do their ex bosses talk about them? So, a lot of personal information in custody of HR, and in many organizations, though not all, but CCTV footage, device, and email monitoring is also done. It is not necessary that all organizations do it. Some organizations do it only for surveillance purposes, security purposes, on keyword email monitoring, not as a PII monitoring. Of course, there are exit records and disciplinary records within the organization and outside, both important and available with HR. So, why employee data is at a high risk? Employee data is at a high risk because it is absolutely sensitive and multiple sensitive. Their performance, their medical, their biometrics. Most of the organizations capture biometrics now. Misuse can lead to discrimination claims, can lead to their job prospects, their working prospects, their career altogether, right? So monitoring is very, very important. Monitoring important, as I spoke in the previous slide, you do CCTV monitoring, you do email monitoring, but for threats and not for personal information, right? Breach impacts the employee trust and the employee's morale, can impact him in future. HR systems integrate with different vendors, so HR needs to be very, very careful. There could be legal consequences. HR uses outside softwares, HR uses outside vendors, both of them. Key compliance requirements: privacy notice on hiring and onboarding, very important. Consent where legally required at many ends. Access control, all HR related data to be accessed only by HR and no one else. Data collection during hiring to be stored, managed as per the HR's requirement, HR's choice. Vendor compliances, that is background verification, payroll, insurance, all again in custody of HR. Limit the monitoring and compliance systems that are available with HR. Have to make sure that you do that. User rights have to be maintained. Again, if a user as an employee has an issue, he will come back to HR, and HR now knows this as well. So HR has a lot of confidential PIs with them. Retention rules, and HR's domain is such that the retention rules can be very, very complicated. Why? Someone just came in and gave an interview. Do you need his PIIs from his CV? Perhaps not. Very simple. Someone came in and got rejected or got accepted but did not join. Do you need his PIIs? In any case, by 6 months, his performance and his qualifications might change. Right? Now, for one who is working with you, Provident Fund needs a different retention. So, would you follow DPDP? Well, DPDP says if there's any other compliance that needs higher attention, please keep it as per that compliance, not as per me. So, where does compliance applies in HR? Everywhere. On the recruitment portal, on onboarding systems, document uploads have to be encrypted and safe, role-based access. Attendance in biometric systems, CCTV footages, workplace monitoring tools, payroll, insurance, benefits that you get. You don't want people to know about it. Employee grievances, help desk systems, exit process when you are leaving the organization, archival of the data when you are leaving the organization. These are the important places. Archival has to be secure. Very, very important. HR data keeps lying there. There's no process of archival. Organizations should archive, anonymize, or at least encrypt them. And the archival storage should not be a part of the shadow IT, it should be a live IT. It should not get out of the visibility of day-to-day monitoring of the IT systems. Systems that need updating, they are HRMS, they are learning portals, they are payroll, reimbursement systems, attendance, access controls, email monitoring tools, CCTV footages, storages, retention policy to CCTV. They all need to be updated. Right? Any hacker getting into these systems, background verification tools, onboarding tools, and leaking the information can be very, very dangerous for the employee. Learning and performance systems also need updates and cloud backup and archival. So, what about retention? Keep only legally required records. Shorten your retention for interview candidates, as I said, a week, 15 days. Only interviewed, did not join, wait for 15 days, maybe for a month. Right? But longer for the ones who have worked with you, maybe 2 to 5 years even after they leave. Delete the biometric data at the end of the purpose. Well, someone has quit. I don't need the biometric data. In any case, for security, that should be immediately disabled, has to be immediately disabled so the person does not get into the system again. Secure deletion of logs and no keep forever kind of filing system on shared drives and servers or even on emails. From a monitoring rules point of view, inform the employees if you are monitoring them until unless if it's a legitimate use where there is a serious complaint against an individual. No hidden or excessive monitoring. That kind of monitoring only for the area or the people who need to be monitored for it, against whom there is a complaint. Limit the log access to authorized roles only. Retain CCTV for a limited period of time. And avoid profiling employees without any purpose. Fine? Don't profile employees just for the sake that you want to profile. Have to have a purpose, complaint or something. Document lawful basis for this monitoring also. So, as a roadmap, again, I would say I have created one which says you should have notices first in place, onboarding, candidate forms, restructure for consent, etc. Do that in 30 days. Vendor alignment and access controls in 60 days. Retention schedules deletion you can do in 90 days, 90 day plus. The idea is look at what you are doing, improvise on that, remove all the gaps from there, and scale it up to put all these in place. Need help? Let me know. As a summary, HR handles the most sensitive internal data. Consent, notice, minimal collection are very important keys to HR data. Monitoring must be lawful and transparent, and retention must be controlled and should not be indefinite. It has to follow a base rule, which could be 2 to 5 years on the exit of a working employee or a lawful basis. DPDP Act is central to employee-employer trust and is very, very important, and every organizations hire people. So that's about the HR role in DPDP or DPDP's role in HR. I hope you like the content of the video. If you have any comments, queries, put them in the feedback section, comment section, and stay tuned with my channel. More content, daily new content on DPDP and data privacy. Thank you.